Good morning, world history students. Today is a snow day. It's February 23rd, 2022. We're going to continue our study of absolutism in Europe, chapter 18 of our book. Today we're going to be focusing on absolutism in Great Britain. Now, recall that in 1607, the Scottish king James VI of Scotland also inherited the Kingdom of England. The King of Scotland became also the King of England. They combined together, along with Ireland and Wales, to create the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Today we're going to start with our warm-up, a review from yesterday's reading. After that, we'll continue on with our notes, and I'm just going to remind you on what assignments are due this week. Number 1, review from yesterday. Which Scottish king also became King of England? He was James VI of Scotland, who then became James I of England. Question number 2. Which English king was beheaded in 1649? King Charles I was famously separated from his head by a parliamentary trial at the conclusion of the English Civil War. In that English Civil War, it was the Parliament, the forces of Parliament, the Roundheads, which was the supporters of Parliament, who fought against supporters of the King and Queen. Now, question number 4. Who became king and queen through the glorious, which was a bloodless revolution? The answer is William of Orange and Mary. William and Mary became king and queen of England through the bloodless, glorious revolution, and that was after Oliver Cromwell had died and the English Commonwealth came to an end. We're going to work on our notes a little bit more. Recall that Henry VIII, the very large king who had 6 wives and 3 children who went on to be kings or queens, he was the one who divorced his wife so that he could marry a new wife, and in the process left the Catholic Church and started his own church, the Church of England, or the Anglican Church. Henry's only son, Edward VI, was a Protestant. However, he was sickly and he died at a very young age. He was replaced by Mary, a Catholic, Henry VIII's oldest daughter. She tried to revert England back to Catholicism. When she burned 300 Protestants at the stake, she gained the nickname Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary died unexpectedly of cancer, and she was replaced by her younger sister, the red-headed Queen Elizabeth I of England, the Virgin Queen. She was Protestant, and she never got married, never had any children. So when Elizabeth died, her cousin, James I of Scotland, James VI of Scotland, came down and also became James I of England. The King of Scotland, James, also becomes King of England. In 1603, when Elizabeth I died, her relative, King James VI of Scotland, inherited the throne of England. He became James I of England. Now all of the island of Britain, England, Scotland, and Wales is united under one king, and will become known as Great Britain, or the United Kingdom of Great Britain. James I had many clashes with Parliament over money and foreign policy. James was a strong believer in the divine right of kings, the idea that God made the king king, so the subjects should obey the king because God made them king. James also had religious disputes with dissenters, Protestant Christians who opposed the Church of England, and Puritans who sought to purify the church and return to simpler services and to remove Catholic influences. The English Civil War, which was fought between 1642 and 1651, was fought between supporters of Parliament, the Roundheads, and supporters of the King, the Cavaliers. At the conclusion of the war, Parliament tried and executed Charles. They beheaded him. A king of England was executed by Parliament. Parliament has established itself as supreme over the monarchy. Parliament won the war and made Oliver Cromwell the Lord Protector, or Dictator, of England. In 1625, James I dies, and he is replaced by his son, Charles I, another absolute monarch who dissolved Parliament in 1629. For 11 years, Charles ruled without Parliament, but in 1640, he was forced to convene Parliament to raise money and send an army to put down a rebellion in Scotland. In 1642, Charles tried to arrest leaders of Parliament, which started a civil war fought between supporters of Parliament called Roundheads and supporters of King Charles called Cavaliers. The leader of the Roundheads, Oliver Cromwell, led Parliament to a victory in the English Civil War. And here's a painting from the time period during the English Civil War. King Charles I was tried and executed by Parliament in 1649 as a tyrant, traitor, murderer, and public enemy. Parliament won the war and made Oliver Cromwell the Lord Protector, or Dictator, of England. After the Civil War, the monarchy is abolished, and England is made a commonwealth, which was ruled by Lord Protector Oliver Cromwell, pictured here on the left. And remember, he was a Roundhead. This is a Roundhead haircut. When Cromwell dies, England becomes a limited monarchy, where monarchs share power with Parliament. Constitutional government in Britain. The English Bill of Rights made Parliament superior to the monarchy. Kings appointed a prime minister, who is the chief government officer of the British government. A cabinet of high-ranking members of Parliament run government ministries. In Britain, they're ministries run by ministers. In the United States, they're departments run by secretaries. So let's get this terminology down, because we're going to be dealing with Great Britain a lot from now on. The King of England is now also the King of Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. The new kingdom is called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, or just Great Britain for short. As a limited monarchy, Great Britain will continue to grow stronger and more powerful. By the 1800s, it controls the largest empire in the history of the world. 1/4 of the world's people and 1/4 of the world's land will be controlled by this island off the coast of Europe. So how do we get to the British flag of today? It's a combination of the flag of England, the red cross, St. George's Cross, with the flag of Scotland, which is St. Andrew's Cross, along with the old flag of Ireland. And those three flags combined give us the Union Jack, the flag of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That concludes our lecture for today. I'm going to leave you with our assignments for the week. Our warm-up, this is warm-up week 24, and this is the 23rd of February, is due on Friday. The Chapter 18 Open Book and Open Note quiz is going to be now due on Friday, but it's open. You can get that done today. Our guided readings remain the same. 21.2 was due tonight, 21.3 due tomorrow, 21.4 is due on Friday. I'll be at my email all day. Please let me know if you have any questions or need any help, and I'll be happy to help you. Have a wonderful snow day, and I hope to see you tomorrow.